going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now, tonight we've got the World Test Championship from 2021 to 2023 fixtures with the home and away matches. So this gives you a good inkling on who will be in the final, or who will beat the teams. You get to see who plays who, whether they play their series at home or they're playing that team away. You get to see if any team has an advantage or a disadvantage. This came out about 2 or 3 days ago, actually, but I'm only covering it now. But it hasn't been that big of news. Like, there hasn't been anyone really cover it. So hopefully, this is the first time you're going to see it. We've got all teams competing. Obviously, it goes from 2021 to 2023. So the next final isn't till 2 years away. So we get to have a look. But we're not going to talk about Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or South Africa because no one really cares. They're not going to be in the. They're not going to be in there. But Australia, we play our home series against England, which is the Ashes. We should win that. South Africa at home, we should win that. And West Indies at home, we should be winning that. Okay, that should be 3 wins at home. I wouldn't expect anything less from Australia. But we play India away. That is the toughest assignment in cricket. To play a 5 test match series against India on their home turf is by far the hardest assignment in cricket, in test cricket. We play Pakistan away, which, if we were playing Pakistan at home, we are winning that series. But Pakistan away in the UAE, that's really tough. That is not an easy win by any means. In fact, Pakistan probably go in favourites. I mean, Pakistan, if you play them away, they go in favourites unless they're playing in India unless they're playing India, Pakistan go in favourites at home. So that's tough. And then Sri Lanka away. Look, I don't want to be disrespectful to Sri Lanka, but we should win that. So look, you want to put it here. We should win these 3. And we should win against Sri Lanka. The only 2 that really scare me is this India and Pakistan series, which is a little bit worrying. But Bangladesh, I'm sorry, we do not. I mean, look, you can have a look. Bangladesh is not going to be in the final, so, we don't really worry. England, they play India at home, South Africa at home, and New Zealand, they play New Zealand at home. England are so lucky that they get to play India at home. They get to play New Zealand at home as well, because New Zealand, they're very flat track bullies, let's be honest. So they get to play the 2 strongest teams in the world at home, which is very lucky if you ask me. There's a bit of money bribing going on there if you ask me from England. But and then they play Pakistan away, West Indies away, and Australia away. So I expect them to win the South Africa series at home. I expect them to win the New Zealand series, or at least be a close series at home. I think they'll lose to India. I still think India is by far the best team in the world. Honestly, I expect them to probably beat a Pakistan away. I don't know why. I think England have a quite good track record in the UAE. Correct me if I am wrong. West Indies away is still a tough assignment. And then Australia, obviously in Australia, is again one of the toughest assignments in cricket. India. Here we go. Now, they've got, I don't want to say not an easier draw, but they've got a little, they get to play Bangladesh away, which is still tough. So they've actually got a very difficult draw. And that's the best thing about the World Test Championship, that there is no easy series. Whether you play India at home or away, whether you're playing Bangladesh away, that's still a difficult series. If you play them at home, it's a bit different, but yeah. India, they play Sri Lanka at home. They should comfortably win that series. New Zealand at home, I would expect them to win that. And then Australia at home. That'll be an amazing series. The Border Gavaskar Trophy at home in India. It's going to be a tough series for Australia. Anything can happen. But again, you would probably expect India to go in favourites for that series. They play Bangladesh away, which again, you never know what can happen there, but you would expect them to win. They play England away, which is the series that questions me. That is the one where I think they could drop a series. If there's any series for India to lose out of here, I think they beat Sri Lanka, they beat New Zealand, They probably beat Australia. They beat Bangladesh. They beat South Africa. But the one series is England away, which I think is later in the fixtures of it all as well. So, yeah, definitely jury's out on that one. They actually play England in the test. Wait, is that the start of the World Test Championship? Because they play England in September, right? Or is it July? I can't remember. No, it's in... When did they play? It's coming up soon. When did that... Look, best edit on YouTube, but we're not going to edit this out. England versus India Test Series. 4th of August. So, that's... Hey, it's actually coming up pretty soon. India, both teams will be ready to go. So, that's actually not bad. New Zealand, gee whiz. They play South Africa at home, Bangladesh at home, and Sri Lanka at home. They'll win all three comfortably. But then they have the toughest away assignments. England away is so tough. Pakistan away is always a tough one. And India away is as tough as it gets. Pakistan, now, this is where Pakistan have gotten very lucky. Pakistan could seriously make the final. Pakistan could really be in the World Test Championship final. Now, they're nowhere near the best team. I mean, there's Australia, India, England, New Zealand. That is comfortably better test teams. But look at Pakistan. They play Australia at home. They play England at home. And they play New Zealand at home. They play all of the three hardest test teams in the world in their own conditions, in their own, in their own stadiums, in their own, which is as lucky as it gets for Pakistan. And then they play the weaker teams away, which is what you would want. You play Sri Lanka away, Bangladesh away, and West Indies away, which is incredibly lucky. They've got an incredibly lucky draw. But again, the only way Pakistan makes the final is if they beat Australia at home. They have to beat an England or a New Zealand at home, and then they have to probably win all three of these away series. Honestly, I think that West Indies will beat them in a test series on West Indian soil. I just think West Indies have a lot of upcoming youth that could tumble a lot of teams. But yeah, that is really the big four teams. I won't really discuss any South Africa, Sri Lanka, or West Indies because I don't think we're expecting them to really compete and make a Test Championship final. But we'll go through the comments here. Hopefully my face cam isn't blocking it too much. We've got a comment. It would be a Pakistan versus New Zealand final. And then Crazy Johns, the man, the legend on Twitter, has said India versus Pakistan or New Zealand. So, I mean, Pakistan have as good a chance to put their name in the test lights as anyone does because they have a very good draw. But hey, that is going to cap it off, guys. Let me know what you think. Make your predictions. Predict now who will be in the final. Who you think's got the easiest draw, the hardest draw? What's your predictions? Hey, that's going to cap it off, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.